is good, my anime faithful? What is good, yo? With Index being as high and intense as possible, it almost feels like we're at the end point of just getting anything, getting anything new out of it. In the simple fact of we probably won't get to see um, I feel like another arc. I feel like this arc might take a lot of the time, and then after the arc is done, it'll probably lead into something more relaxing, or maybe something revealing another overall arcing thing that's coming later on. So, because we're on episode 19, and I think there's only 26 left, and the way that this one's left open, like kind of just like left out there. I feel like we could easily get something in the fact of what was that? In the fact of like this battle takes us into like episode 23 or 22, and 23 is like the overall ending of it all. Because seemingly we're getting pretty close to the final guy in this overall organization that has pretty much been making, for the most part, the most plans that seems the dangerous when it comes down to, out of all the hands that are been doing stuff, he seems like he's the most confident in what he's doing. And I feel like he's probably the one we should be snuffing out as quickly as possible. So it's nice to see that that's happening. Not to mention, we're probably going to get along the lines actually, I don't know. I was gonna say we're probably gonna get down the lines just what the heck is going on with Index, and probably an outcome of that. But I'm kind of scared of this show and how they handle stuff, because the character, I was watching him and seeing him and Accelerator in the same week's episode, it's so hard to be like, oh man, I love Toma just as much as Accelerator. It's just like it's just not the same. And I understand why. It's just Accelerator's been turned into such a complex character over the time that now when you see him showing up and pretty much having the worst thing possible being put on him, just in the simple fact that they sent out another clone or another one of these copies that is a later addition to them, and the simple fact that she's definitely more human and like I was gonna say maniacal, but she's definitely more focused and content on a certain emotion, unlike other Misa Misas where they didn't have any emotions at all, and they're really just trained to be um, doll-like and go out, do this mission that you have been ordered to do. We have written in stone this, so do it. Um, I don't know if that's what they're going for with this new one, in the case of if she is just a more she's more susceptible to emotions. But also it seemed like with Accelerator finally being pushed to the limit, where she practically just wanted to get rid of, yeah, let's go, got to tell Beep Spawn boys, where she pretty much just wanted to off the last order, because she already had something inside of her that jams the last order from stopping her. It kind of put into perspective what could be possible in the future for these new clones. Like, she Misa is not a weak at all, and by any means, like she's absolutely a strong, like top tier character. It's just when you come to Accelerator, you're not as good anymore, because all your attacks you do can be practically reflected back at you. Besides maybe the electricity, um, we we don't really know if Accelerator like really wanted to how many Misakas he could still destroy as of this point. So to see him allowing himself to get hit, take all this damage because he wanted to avoid becoming who he used to be, which we saw a very fast clip, a snippet of it. And mind you, hearing his like laugh and how evil he sounded, it was the perfect little nudge of reminding me of Angels of Death and just that whole scenario of Zach, and how crazy his freaking laugh was. So I love that aspect that these voice actors do something that's barely iconic, just like a laugh, and I automatically know exactly who I'm listening to. I love that aspect. So to get to hear that and pretty much know that, oh, he's trying to hit me with that. Know that we're going to be getting something remotely close to, um, just learning more and more about Accelerator, getting all of the answers about, what these hands and people of God pretty much want. Because at this point, the damage that this man takes in this week's episode and then pretty much like smiles about it and just like laughs it off was absolutely nuts, guys. Um, I thought it was gonna be much rougher than it was, and he pretty much just came out with a smile on his face. He was just like, "Oh yeah, this is nothing." And to see that and to know that we're probably not gonna be able to just get in there and punch him one time in the face is definitely a better look for a future of just the fighting in this anime in general. Because like I was saying, with Toma, he's going to punch you in the face, and that's about it. Like that's about as far as the show goes with him doing action, which kind of sucks, but at the same time makes sense because they built him up to be this character. His right hand is the only thing really special about him, and they really stick to that. So if you can't dodge his right hand, you about to catch them hands. So overall, it sucks, but at the same time, I understand it because that's just how it all crumbles at the end of the day. So I'm looking forward to getting just the explanation behind what they're gonna do for these final battles. Not to mention, um, the hand guy doesn't seem really that like that combat oriented. He kind of seems like since he has this power, he's gonna leave himself open a lot more, just because he knows how strong he is or how strong he should be. So uh, it kind of works against him in that way, in my opinion. So really interested to see what you guys are thinking about the show overall, and if you are going to guess what happens towards the end, what? Oh my God, I'm getting blasted. What do you guys think would be the thing that actually? Oh, I won! That was sick. What do you think will be the thing that actually, overall wins it all? Because we're looking at a very interesting outcome in this show, just overall with how Index was taken, how she's being held right now, and not even really being shown anymore. Because at this point, we pretty much know what's going to come towards the end of whatchamacallit, of these battles. If we win, he wants Index to be happy, he wants her to be safe, but the things that the God Hand guy kind of or the God Hand says to him, kind of gets under his skin in the sense of, why are you doing what you're doing? Is it to satisfy your own need, or is it really what she wants? And just thinking about that, I think it's already getting to him. And supposedly the guy said he can connect his thoughts with hers. So if that's the case, she might have already heard this conversation and, probably still on his side. Just by the type of person she is, she's not gonna go against him for something that she probably doesn't necessarily even believe herself, of him being selfish like that. So that's just me talking about it though, I honestly don't know what this show can pull out, which is the best part of it all. I really can't wait to see what we get. I hope you guys are having a great night. This is the last video I'm dropping. I'm sorry, definitely coming out a little bit later than I wanted it to, but oh, that was dirty. But overall, I wanted to at least get this out to you guys. One of my good buddies reminded me that this show was even as amazing as I remembered it to be, and because of that, I've been lucky enough to watch it and keep up with it again since the first season, and I stopped. And there was a whole entire season that I missed, so yeah, I'm back on it, and I can't be any happier because now I get to see just what's going to happen towards the end of it all with everybody instead of hearing about it. So with that, everybody, have a good one, and I will talk to you in the next one. Peace.